Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we got some major breaking news to do with the DCU, so if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. Okay, so apologies for the lack of uploads over Christmas. Wasn't feeling too good, so I didn't feel like making videos, but we are back, and if you guys have any suggestions about any topics you want me to cover, let me know down in the comments. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's main topic. So we've got a bunch of sources, they're all going to be linked in the description below. One topic that we've got is to do with the Batman being delayed. We're going to talk about that later in the video. But first off, we just got introduced to the first Batman villain in the DCU. And also we got an update in regards to that project, an update in regards to the Flash and what's happening with him in the DCU. And then also we have an update to do with the DCU's Batman film. So let's start with the DCU Batman film because we got an update in regards to the reboot film that is coming. It's supposed to be called The Brave and the Bold. We know Andy Muschietti is directing the film. Obviously he worked on The Flash most recently and he was hired to do The Brave and the Bold. And according to this Screen Rant article, and they quote another site here that actually got the quote, The Brave and the Bold has got an unfortunate production update. The upcoming movie is set to introduce a new version of Batman as part of James Gunn and Peter Safran's led DC universe. As the DC Extended Universe Batman star, Ben Affleck will not be returning, and Robert Pattinson, the Batman franchise takes place in another universe away from the DCU. So in June 2023 it was announced that the upcoming The Brave and the Bold, which also features a version of Robin who is Batman's son Damian Wayne, will be helmed by the Flash director Andy Muschietti. And during a recent interview, Andy Muschietti revealed The Brave and the Bold has been postponed a bit. He revealed that he is currently in the process of writing a new science fiction movie that he might direct before helming the DCU Batman title amid its delays, about which he did not offer any other details. And so this is his quote: "I'm now writing a science fiction movie that I would like to do. Batman is a project that has been postponed a little bit, so there could be another film before it, possibly that one." So it seems the Batman movie is going to be put on the back burner for now. I don't know what it's specifically to do with, but hearing that it is a bit delayed and it won't be, one of the next big films to come out, you're probably guessing 2027 earliest. 2028 is probably our best guess, and that would make sense in terms of he would have enough time to make that sci-fi film he wants to make and maybe release it in like 2026 or 2027, and then the next year after that or 2 years after that, then he would do the Batman that would come out. Obviously The Brave and the Bold I'm talking about. But I'm wondering, what is the delays here? I think it could be to do with the screenplay. Maybe they just haven't been 100% certain of this project. Obviously there's question marks about Andy Muschietti after what he did with The Flash, because it was a fun film, it was a good film, but it had a lot of flaws and not many people were very happy with it, and also it didn't do very well in the box office. So I think Andy is going to have to take a very different approach with his Batman film. He can't make it similar to The Flash at all. It has to be grounded, it has to be specific to the type of filmmaker that Andy normally is. I wouldn't say The Flash was a typical Andy Muschietti film, because you've seen him work in horror mainly, and then go into something like The Flash with humor, it just didn't work. And Batman obviously isn't very humorous, so I think that will work for Andy Muschietti, and I think it's okay that it's getting delayed. We're going to have other projects in the meantime. And talking about other projects in the meantime, we know that we're going to get Clayface, which is going to be the third DCU film according to James Gunn, and so that's going to be releasing in 2026 in the same year as Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. And we know that Mike Flanagan is working on that, and this is what James Gunn had to say in regards to a comment that someone made online. So someone said, "Is Clayface officially the third DCU film? Why didn't you choose a more prominent character first, like Flash or Wonder Woman?" James replied, "Because of the #1 rule here at DC, no movie will be greenlit until the script is ready, and Mike Flanagan's script was ready, and as for the Flash, we're holding a beat on development." So let's quickly talk about the Flash before we get into Clayface and what James had to say, because that's interesting. I feel like this is James Gunn saying, okay, we have a Flash film on the back burner, it's there, we will develop it at some point, but he says, as for the Flash, we're holding a beat on development, so I think they are planning to do a Flash film. It's just not going to be one of the first projects. It's probably going to be in that second phase of the DCU. That would be my guess. So they're not really in a rush because the Flash was so recent that obviously it might be a bit tainted right now. And we've talked about this recently, like if you want to get a guaranteed success, you bring Grant Gustin back, you have him as the Flash, and obviously giving some time between the Flash TV show ending and the Flash film. If you want to bring Grant Gustin in, let's say, you probably need that gap in the middle. It's not a bad thing that they're holding off on this. And I have to say, I am so excited to see Mike Flanagan do a DC film, and the fact that Clayface actually debuted this week in Creature Commandos just makes it even more exciting. We're going to talk about that in just a second. But yeah, Clayface is officially the third DCU film, and the reason that it's coming before is because the script was ready, and it seems James is really excited about what Mike has done with Clayface, and it's going to be a lower budget horror film, so it's going to be definitely one that they can make a lot of money on, and I like that we are kind of mixing it up in terms of budget ranges in the DCU. Now let's move on to talk about Clayface this week, because the DCU just introduced its first Batman villain, and that was Clayface, and we need to talk about it because we're going to be breaking down the Screen Rant article for this portion of the video before we get to the Batman 2 news that we need to discuss as well. And so this all links back to what we've been talking about throughout this entire video. So seeing Creature Commandos introduce Clayface for the first time is obviously very exciting because everything's canon. Again, if you want Creature Commandos reviews and breakdowns, please let me know down in the comments below and I'll start doing them from next week onwards. Obviously there's not that many episodes left, so I can kind of go in for those last couple of episodes. But episode 5 of Creature Commandos introduces the DCU's version of Clayface into the world, revealing that the villain has been impersonating Isla McPherson, the woman who saw Cersei's supposed vision of the future alongside Amanda Waller, who's in fact actually already dead, with Clayface having presumably taken her place during the scenes with Isla in the prior episode. So that is what's going on with Clayface right now. It turns out Clayface has been there all this time, and he's been impersonating Isla. And Screen Rant says this is especially interesting given Clayface is the DCU's first well-known Batman villain, as well as Dr. Phosphorus is also an antagonist of Batman in the comics, so it's a big deal. And we know obviously Clayface is going to have his own film, so you're going to presume it's going to be the same version of Clayface that we're seeing in Creature Commandos right now. And what happens in this Creature Commandos episode obviously leads a lot of questions going into that Clayface film, which we're going to talk about in just a second. And with much anticipation building for the Batman solo movie The Brave and the Bold, this is an interesting building block for the franchise to have put in place, though Clayface's face at the end of the episode certainly complicates things in this regard. So we're going to talk about this. So it appears in this episode, if you guys have watched it, you know what happens, that Clayface could have been potentially killed off, but we all know it's probably not going to be the case because Clayface is going to get his own film sometime very, very soon. So the episode sees Rick Flag Sr. and Eric Frankenstein enter the house where it turns out Isla's dead body and Clayface are in search of answers for what is going on, and this results in a fight between Clayface and the two of them, but he is ultimately defeated by Frankenstein blasting himself and Clayface with an electric wire. This explodes Clayface, leaving him in clumps on the floor, and obviously that's where it ends, but that doesn't mean Clayface is dead, because we know that he can be shattered into a million pieces, and all it takes is, you know, just maybe a little bit of life still left in him for him to reform. So I think definitely it's not going to be a permanent thing, and obviously you guys can read this Screen Rant article if you want more analysis about what is going on with Creature Commandos and Clayface and the way that he was supposedly killed off, but I don't think he is. So let's move on to our final main topic for this video. This is to do with the Batman 2, because we got official news that the Batman Part 2 is going to be delayed one extra year. We're not going to get it until 2027. That is a long time. And so that is terrible news for us Batman fans, because it's moving from October 2nd, 2026, which was already a delayed release date, to October 1st, 2027, so just under a year later, and production isn't scheduled to get started until late summer in 2025. With a VFX heavy sequel such as this one, is going to take a lot of time for them to actually get this all together, and as far as we know, the reason for the delays is the screenplay is not done. Matt Reeves has been working on it for a long time, and for some reason he is taking a goddamn while, and people just keep on wondering what could actually be the reason that he has taken so long to write this, because we're all anticipating this film and we all can presume how good this is going to be, but seriously, delaying by an extra year? I really hope it's worth it. I really hope the extra time on the screenplay makes it that much better, but I just really don't know at this point why it's delayed so far in the future. It will be 5 years since the Batman's release at the time of it coming out, which I guess is a similar time gap that Joker and Joker 2 had, because that was roughly 5 years as well, so I guess it's not that crazy. It would be more crazy if it was like an Avatar length of time, which would just be insane. But anyway guys, thank you guys so much for watching. That pretty much does it for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It would really help this video get out there. Also subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video. But for now, I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.